What if the biggest shift in how we work isn't about AI getting smarter, but about AI getting things done while you sleep? We're not talking about chatbots or assistants you have to babysit. We're talking about AI agents, systems that can take a goal, break it into steps, and actually execute those steps without you hovering over them. And here's the thing. This isn't some distant future. The building blocks are being assembled right now, and honestly, most people are completely missing what this actually means for their careers, their businesses, and the skills that will matter over the next few years. If you're into realistic takes on where technology is actually heading, not the hype, you might want to subscribe. This channel is all about connecting the dots between what's real today and what's probably coming tomorrow. So let me ground this in something you can see right now. If you've used ChatGPT recently, you might have noticed it can now browse the web, write code, and run that code to check if it works. That's not just a chatbot anymore. That's the seed of an agent. Same thing with other AI systems that can now control a computer, click buttons, fill out forms, navigate websites. These aren't polished products yet. They're clunky. They make mistakes. They need supervision. But here's the pattern that matters. Every 6 months, they get noticeably better. And the gap between interesting demo and actually useful tool is shrinking fast. Now, most people hear AI agents and immediately jump to one of two places. Either they imagine robots replacing all jobs overnight, or they dismiss it as overhyped nonsense that'll never work in the real world. Both reactions miss the point. The reality is messier, more gradual, and honestly, more interesting than either extreme. Here's what's actually happening. Companies are starting to deploy AI agents for very specific, narrow tasks. Not run my entire business, but things like monitor these 20 data sources and alert me when something unusual happens, or draft responses to routine customer emails and flag the tricky ones for a human. These aren't revolutionary on their own, but they add up. And they're teaching organizations something important. The bottleneck isn't the AI's capability anymore. It's figuring out which tasks can be clearly defined enough for an agent to handle, at knowing what done actually looks like. The rise of AI agents is forcing a kind of brutal clarity about what we actually do at work. See, humans are great at handling ambiguity. We can take a vague request like make this report better and figure out what that means. AI agents can't do that, at least not yet. They need specific, measurable goals. So the people who thrive in an agent-powered world won't necessarily be the best at doing tasks. They'll be the best at defining tasks, at breaking down fuzzy goals into clear instructions. Honestly, this is the part that surprises me. We've spent decades talking about soft skills, creativity, and big-picture thinking as the safe zones where humans beat machines. And those things still matter. But there's this other skill emerging that nobody really talks about: the ability to be a good manager of AI systems. Not a programmer, necessarily. Just someone who can think clearly enough to give an AI agent a task it can actually complete. Now let's talk about where this gets uncomfortable. Because here's the catch. When one person plus AI agents can do what used to require 5 people, that changes the math of hiring. It doesn't necessarily mean mass unemployment. We've been through automation waves before, and new jobs tend to emerge. But it does mean disruption. And the disruption won't be evenly distributed. The pattern we're likely to see is this. In fields where work can be clearly defined and measured, think data entry, basic research, routine writing, standard code, customer service scripts, AI agents will handle more and more of the volume. The humans who remain will be the ones who handle exceptions, make judgment calls, and manage the agents themselves. In fields where work is inherently ambiguous, complex negotiations, novel problem-solving, creative direction, relationship building, humans stay central, but they'll increasingly use agents to handle the structured parts of their work. This creates a new kind of inequality, and I want to be honest about it. People who learn to work with AI agents effectively will see their productivity multiply. People who don't will find themselves competing against those multiplied outputs. It's not about being replaced by an AI. It's about being outcompeted by a human who uses AI better than you do. So what does this mean practically? Well, first, a friendly disclaimer. This is about spotting trends, not guaranteed predictions or financial advice. Nobody knows exactly how fast this will move, or which specific jobs will be affected most. But there are some reasonable bets you can make. If your work involves a lot of repetitive, clearly defined tasks, now is the time to start thinking about how those tasks could be handed to an agent. Not because you're about to be fired, but because understanding the structure of your own work is the first step to staying valuable. What parts of your job require genuine judgment? What parts are just following established procedures? That second category is where agents will show up first. If you manage people or projects, start paying attention to how clearly you define success. The better you get at specifying what good looks like, the more easily you can eventually direct AI agents to help achieve it. This is a skill you can develop now, before agents are sophisticated enough to matter in your specific field. And if you're thinking about career moves or learning new skills, consider this. The skills that will age well are the ones that are hard to turn into clear instructions. Complex judgment, understanding context, navigating social dynamics, creative synthesis across different domains. But also, and this is the twist, the skill of turning other people's fuzzy goals into clear, executable plans. That translator role between human intention and machine execution is going to be valuable for a while. Now, I want to be careful here. There's a lot of hype around AI agents right now, and plenty of it is overblown. Current agents still make mistakes. They hallucinate. They get stuck. They can't handle truly novel situations. The demos look impressive, but real-world deployment is messier. Companies are discovering that the integration work, the error handling, the edge cases, all of that is harder than the marketing suggests. But here's why I think this matters anyway. The trajectory is clear. Each generation of these systems is more capable than the last. The mistakes they make are getting less frequent and less catastrophic. And the economic incentive to make them work is enormous. When a reliable AI agent can do in minutes what used to take a person hours, the pressure to deploy them becomes intense. Not overnight, not everywhere at once, but steadily, persistently, across more and more domains. The question isn't really whether AI agents will become a significant force in how work gets done. The current prototypes and the pace of improvement make that pretty likely over the next few years. The question is how you position yourself relative to that change. Are you someone who understands how to direct these systems? Someone who handles the work that can't be clearly specified? Someone who helps others adapt? Those are the durable positions. And look, I'll be the first to admit there's uncertainty here. Maybe progress slows down. Maybe the limitations prove harder to overcome than expected. Maybe regulation steps in and changes the picture. All of that is possible. But the smart move isn't to bet everything on one outcome. It's to build skills and awareness that serve you across multiple scenarios. So here's my honest take on AI agents. They're real, they're improving, and they're going to change how a lot of work gets done, probably within the next 2 to 4 years for many knowledge work tasks. The change won't be instant replacement. It'll be gradual augmentation that shifts who's productive and who's struggling. And the people who pay attention now, who start understanding how these systems work and what they're good at, will have a significant advantage. If you found this useful, consider subscribing for more grounded takes on where technology is actually heading. No hype, no doom, just honest analysis of what's coming and how to think about it. I'm genuinely curious about your perspective on this. Which parts of your own work do you think could eventually be handled by an AI agent? And which parts feel impossible to hand off? Drop a comment. I read them, and honestly, the discussions here often shape what I explore next.